My favorite DJ is DJ Tanner.
That's true. Okayness makes me wear the shirt just to begin with.
What would happen if you showed up at the bar in Port McNeill in a limo?
I don't know, someone would probably break out their 12 gauge and put a hole in it.
Ron McLean, game on, check.
It's game on.
Tonight, he did us proud again. Victoria's Ryder Hejjedal finishes off another Tour de France.
The Victoria Highlanders clinch a playoff spot for the first time in franchise history.
And we have Willie and Manny in the sports cage. Paulie and Mikey say it's game on.
Game On is brought to you by Jenner Chevrolet Buick GMC. Here for you and in your community on the Old Island Highway.
Hello and welcome to Game On. Jeff King is away soaking up the sun, so tonight we brought in the heavy hitter, Magic Mike Walker. Mike, we got a big show tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Pumped to be in the big chair, and I've got some big shoes to fill, Paulie.
Yeah,
but I've been training like a true sports anger with plenty of beer and nachos. And
Perfect.
Paul, tonight we're going to get started with the Tour de France.
Yes, that is right. That is a good tour. And boy, all right. It was another amazing Tour de France for Victoria's Ryder Hejjedal. From crashes to breakaways, the lone Canadian cyclist was right in the thick of all the action. And after 21 stages and over 3,500 kilometers, Ryder crossed the finish line in 18th, and his Garmin Cervelo squad took the overall team title.
Hejjedal has just done it quite easily. He could be going on here, and this is an outstanding performance by the 30-year-old Canadian.
Ryder Hejjedal had to endure a lot at this year's Tour de France. Getting caught in a crash in stage 1, Ryder worked his way back up the standings, only to crash again in stage 7.
Massive pileup of riders. We really caught it on the helicopter just here.
But as Ryder crossed the finish line down the Champs-Élysées on Sunday, it was reason to celebrate for the Hejjedal family. Partly because Ryder finished the race in one piece, but also because he got to stand on the podium with his Garmin Cervelo teammates as they finished in first place in the team division.
To be able to sit there and watch him as he's going down the road, you know, and cheering. It's so proud. His first podium at the Tour de France.
This is Ryder Hejjedal here, also for Garmin Cervelo.
The enormity of the situation was not lost on Ryder himself, who still finds it hard to call himself a Tour de France champion.
Great exclamation point to our tour, you know, doing that every day, and got to stand on the podium, and the Champs is, you know, at the first, and you know, it was real exciting. Every day there's drama, there's a story, there's a race won, there's ups, there's downs, there's everything.
Ryder went into this year's tour with the weight of a nation on his pedals. After finishing 7th last year, many expected the same or even a better result. But after suffering through the carnage early, Ryder worked his way to an amazing 18th place finish and solidified his place as one of the best riders in the world.
You know, taking some injury to the body, you know, I really had to fight and push through the next few days, and you know, managed to get through the Pyrenees good and come even better in the Alps and show, you know, that I'm capable of being right up there with the best of them, and that was important to be there, and you know, we got a lot accomplished in the process.
Ryder Hejjedal working hard for Garmin Cervelo.
Like any good Canadian athlete, Ryder put team ahead of himself at this year's Tour de France. That being said, a top 20 finish in the hardest race in the world isn't too shabby. Yes, Ryder Hejjedal did his family, his city, and his country proud.
Way to go, Ryder. Well, it was a big weekend on the pitch for the Victoria Highlanders, locking up the first United Soccer League PDL playoff spot in club history. It was a gutsy 1-0 win over the undefeated Kitsap Pumas on Saturday that really put this team on another level. Ash Brewberry's beautiful header in the 63rd minute brought over 1,500 fans to their feet and put the Highlanders 1 point out of a playoff spot. And on Sunday, the Clan made it official, with Brewberry assisting on a pair of goals. Victoria dumped the Abbotsford Mariners by a convincing 3-1 final, booking their ticket to California for a Western Conference semifinal match against the Fresno Fuego.
Best name ever.
On Friday night.
It's exciting for sure. I mean, this has been our goal since we started, well, since the club initiated 3 years ago. More so this year it was our #1 objective. We had to make it to the playoffs. We left it to the very last game, but better late than never.
Oh, it's massive. I mean, it's not only big for the players, it's big for the coaches, it's great for the fans, great for the city, and we've worked hard all season round, trained hard. You know, we just got his rewards today.
This portion of Game On brought to you by Sopranos Bar and Grill, where fans gather before and after the game.
Good going, Highlanders. Good luck in the playoffs. All right, it's time for this week's edition of Island Shoutout.
Yes, a look at some amateur athletes from around Vancouver Island.
All right, let's start on the lake where Tomba Huddleston doing a little wake surfing. Impressive on its own, but even more impressive when you see he's wearing an arm cast.
Unbelievable.
Atta guy Tomba.
All right, to the diamond for a Little League as provincials are underway at Hampton Park, Lay Ritz and Little Mountain. Check out the double play. That is some big league stuff. Good going, men.
That is right. Finally, a huge shout out to Don Dobie, 80 years young this week. He's the biggest sports fan in Victoria. Goes out to all the games. Happy 80th, Donnie. We love you here.
Absolutely.
Game On.
And remember, if you have any photos or video of something sports related, make sure you send it to us.
Yeah, 2 ways you can do that. You can email us at gameon@checknews.ca or give us a call at 480-3700.
All right, coming up, he's moving on up. Mark Morrison talks about his promotion to the American Hockey League.
And we have a quick shift with the one, the only Ron MacLean. You're going to want to stick around. More Game On right after this.
Welcome back to Game On, and remember to stick around for our sports cage when Paul sits down with former Canuck and Island boy Willie Mitchell and current Canuck Manny Malhotra.
Yeah, both very good guys. That's coming up. We're going to stay with hockey for a minute and talk about a longtime Victoria coach who's making his way to the bigs. Mike.
Yeah, you got it. Well, many Victoria hockey fans will never forget the run of the Salmon Kings in this town. And while the Victoria Royals are set to bring the Western Hockey League to the barn on Blanchard this fall, the former Salmon Kings bench boss is taking his career to the next level.
Through 6 seasons behind the bench of the Salmon Kings, Victoria native Mark Morrison was right at home at the helm.
I just got to work in my hometown, which not a lot of people get to do. As coaches go, we move around, and to be able to do it in front of the kids and so on, and all my friends here in Victoria, it's been real special, and I wouldn't trade that experience for anything in the world.
But with the Salmon Kings gone, the 48-year-old faced a tough decision: enjoy the island life or pursue that hockey dream. It was the question answered when the Winnipeg Jets American League affiliate came calling.
Well, I think it's great. I mean, it's a step up, and I'm looking forward to working with the next level of players. And you know, quite often you get NHL caliber players that are there, and you learn how to work with them. So it's going to be an experience, and I'm really excited about it, actually.
In this business, it's the ultimate goal to move up, and you know, he's moved up one more rung up the ladder, and you know, it's good for him. I mean, he's earned it, and it's well deserved for him.
And as it turns out, his work behind the bench in Victoria spoke for itself and gave Morrison an inside track with True North Sports and Entertainment.
Being an affiliate with the Moose and the Canucks, it's given me that chance to spend some time in Winnipeg at training camps and so on, and get to know the staff in True North and Heisinger real well.
Now, as assistant coach in St. John's, Morrison is keeping his expectations and his goals simple.
This year will be beneficial being an assistant, just to get your feet wet and learn a little bit. I think it's beneficial to move up the ladder in the right steps, than try to jump and not know what you're doing.
Well, if you want to stay in the business, you can't get out. And I mean, for him, just sitting around, you know, in the next couple of years here wouldn't have benefited him to be a coach. So I mean, he made the move to stay in the game and go out there and better himself and try and keep on working up that ladder.
And as for reaching the NHL,
you know, that's down the road, and you know, with my age, I'm not any younger, so I would have to say I would hope that within the next 4 or 5 years.
Good going, Mo. All right, it's time for this week's edition of Quick Shift. A lot of big names in town for the Courtnall Classic, and Mike caught up with broadcasting legend Ron MacLean, and this may in fact be the longest Quick Shift in Game On history.
All right, we're here for another quick shift with the voice of Hockey Night in Canada, Ron MacLean. Ron, thanks very much for joining us.
Honor, Mike. It's going to be tough. We've got 3 women in tights over here that remind me of grapes, and there you got it. we've been in a few tight spots with Grapes, but it looks like something he'd wear.
Well, first things first, welcome to Victoria.
It's a pleasure to be. 94 Commonwealth Games was a true highlight. We were just across the harbor there at the Ocean Point and had a wonderful couple of weeks. Spinnakers nearly did me in, but it's nice to be back with the Cardinal boys.
First pair of hockey skates.
I got them in, well, it's funny, I remember my first set of goalie gloves better than I remember my first set, because I played both in and out when I was a kid. So I got a set of DR goalie gear, but my first skates had to be Whitehorse when a kid named Dwight Riando took me across the street to the Clements backyard rink. So that would have been 1964.
Favorite thing about working with Don Lescheri?
Grapes got me right at the get-go and taught me two things. He said, Ron, don't go hanging around the dressing room. Don't go down on the bench when the teams are practicing. Try to keep your distance a little bit, and then the guys will be excited when they see you. And the other thing was, if I wrote an opening where I say the hapless Maple Leafs, he'd say, Ron, that's not your style.
Do you have a favorite Don Cherry suit?
I would probably say, for whatever reason, the one he wore in 2006 in Carolina that made Doug Waite happy. And that was a lavender bedspread. They all look like bedspreads, but floral, big lilies. And Doug Waite, 15-year veteran playing for the Hurricanes, took to the ice for Game 1 against the Oilers, sick as a dog, throwing up before the game. And he came on the ice and he saw Grapes over there in that lavender bedspread, and he burst out laughing. And it kind of, unfortunately for Canada and Edmonton fans, it relaxed Doug Waite, and although he got hurt later in the series, he was a great influence in helping the Hurricanes win.
Final question, you're not done on Hockey Night in Canada anytime soon, are you?
We have 3 years left, and then it's game on, no pun intended, because as you know, it's just so interesting with all the telephone companies and the way we'll probably all end up watching. We do it on our Blackberries or our iPhones now. I bet you by the time 3 years is up, we'll be watching them on our Ring. So who knows what the future holds, but it's been a beautiful ride. And as you know, Mike, half the battle is you get to meet, especially in hockey, so many guys like the Cardinal boys. So that if it goes at 28 years and that's it, it'll have been a nice ride.
Thanks very much for doing this. This has been another Quick Shift with
Ron McLean. Game on. Check.
He's awesome and can sure tell a story, Paul. That was more like a quick double shift.
Yeah, I guess he's used to Don Cherry always cutting him off.
Probably,
and
yeah.
you would not do that. All right. This is what makes or breaks the show. Mike, are you ready?
I can handle it.
It's time for our Plays of the Week.
Plays of the Week is brought to you by Spank It Sports, BC's largest selection of soccer, rugby, and football stuff.
Yes, football is back, and so is Paul's favorite part of the game, West Shore Rebels, VI Raiders preseason action. And check out this bomb from Raiders QB Jordan Yance going way downtown. Andrew Smith reels in the amazing catch.
All right, check this out. The Swamp Soccer World Championships in Scotland. I'm not a swamp soccer analyst yet, but that's a pretty awesome goal.
Unbelievable. All right, this is a little tidier. Man City taking on the Whitecaps, and what a strike. Top shelf from Sean Wright Phillips.
Yeah, Highlanders in a British friendly of their own against Port Vale this week. Watch 6'6" Clayton McDonald finish that one off with a little authority.
It's like the Undertaker. Now on the floor, the Shamrocks are charging towards the playoffs thanks to work like this. Dean Hill finishes the passing play at the side of the net.
That a guy. All right, our boy Ryder had a beauty finish at the Tour de France, helping teammate Tor Hushoff. Is it Hushoff? Yeah, I think it is. Like he takes the stage win there for Garmin Cervello.
John Daly's wardrobe stealing the show at the Canadian Open until former Torquay Elementary School student Adam Hadwin went to work at Shaughnessy. The 23-year-old stealing my Game On Thunder for the fourth place finish.
That is right. No one can steal your thunder, Mike. Nothing better than some full throttle porcelain racing. The annual bathtub races from the NYMO. Nice exit there, that guy.
Getting a little wet. And the biggest game in Victoria Highlanders history on Sunday saw a pair of highlight reel goals. First, Mike Marisek delivers the header in front, then caps off the scoring with the laser from 35 yards out.
That is right. The Highlanders are heading to the playoffs on a high night. Go get them in California this weekend, boys.
All right, coming up next, we have former Island boy and former Canuck, Willie Mitchell, and current Canuck, Manny Malhotra, in the Sports Cage.
Still an Island boy, I guess. But that is right. But first, here's a look at some Island standings.
Island standings are brought to you by Robbins Parking, proudly supporting local community and events. Game On's Sports Cage is brought to you by Country Grocer. You'll feel like family.
All right, welcome to a special edition of our Sports Cage on Game On location here at the Courtnall Classic. Got Willie Mitchell, Manny Malhotra, and both Island boys are with Island Connection. I guess we'll start with the true Island boy here, Willie. And back on the island here, you're up in Tofino. How's it nice to be back on the island here?
Yeah, it's been terrific. It's home for me. I grew up here. And when the weather's like this, like you can see in the background, it's tough to beat the island, beat the West Coast. And yeah, Tofino's been a fun spot. We were up in Telegraph Cove, it's close to where I grew up, and spent a lot of time there, just kind of enjoying the outdoors.
That's right. Now they're cruising you around here in limos all week. What would happen if you showed up at the bar in Port McNeill in a limo?
I don't know, someone would probably break out their 12 gauge and put a hole in it. Yeah, it's not going to happen. So no one could afford the bill, because the closest limo is probably Campbell River, which is about 2.5 hours away.
All right, and then to my left is Manny Malhotra, another man who needs no introduction. And Manny, kind of an island boy now with your brother-in-law, Steve Nash. So what's it like? How often do you come back here? And nice to be back on the island.
Yeah, I love being out here. Obviously, my wife's from here, so I'm the adoptive Victoria boy now. So I really enjoy it. Like Willie said, when the weather's like this, you can't get a better setting for summer, and it definitely beats the 35, but feels like 45 that my family's experiencing back in Toronto right now. But yeah, I really enjoy coming here. Just great people, really fun, beautiful settings, and I love the West Coast. And not too many people know, but you actually do spend some summers here over the past few years, is that correct? Yeah, we, the past 3 summers have spent time here in Victoria. Again, I've fallen in love with it, my wife being from here, but now playing in Vancouver, we decided to make that home, and it's easy enough to either take a ferry or a seaplane and take full advantage of the grandparents babysitting. Absolutely. Now, a full month to kind of digest what happened in Vancouver. What happened, I guess, is the question. What, has it been tough? Have people been coming up to you? I mean, it was such an emotional playoffs for you, especially coming back. What's it been like to digest over this last month? It's obviously something we're going to remember for a long time, and not the outcome we wanted, but looking back, we realized we had an incredible season. We played really well. We learned a lot about ourselves as a team, and grew in a lot of great ways. And the fans' comments to myself and teammates over the past month have been nothing but positive. You truly realize how fortunate we are to play in front of classy fans like this. And from everybody I've talked to, they really enjoyed the ride. They really enjoyed the emotions that we went through for the 2 months of the playoff run. Again, didn't like the outcome, but classy Vancouver fans were just very appreciative of the season we had. Very well said, very well said. And of course, Willie, now a Los Angeles King. How was your season in LA this year? Because it must have been a lot different. You grew up as a Canuck fan, got to spend that much time there, and then going down to the...
I'd trade anything to have a season like they did. So yeah, that sums it up. It's like, I know for those guys at the time, it's a lot of emptiness, but they had such a great year. To win the President's Trophy and all the individual accolades and all the things that happened for them as a team, they had a terrific year. And like I said, it's probably tough for them at the time, but I'm sitting on the outside watching, just envious and wishing, we're in that situation where you have, a city, an island, a province behind you like that, and it was such a magical run for them. Was it tough to watch for you, Willie? Because I know you were such a key part of that team, and then to be 1 year removed and still be a part and know all the guys, was it tough to watch at all? I won't say it wasn't a little bit tough, but to be honest, I felt like I had a really good relationship with the team and a lot of those players on the team, and I was really, to be honest, really, selfishly, yeah, you want to win, and that's what we all want to do as athletes, is win a Stanley Cup. That's what we dreamed of, playing road hockey. But once you personally are out of the race, who do you want to see win? Well, those people who you believe want it really bad. I was only 1 year removed, and I got a lot of good friends on that team, and there's a lot of good people on that team, and I wanted to see them win. I wanted to see them win, and not only for some good friends of mine, but also for the city and the province, because as Manny knows, I experienced it for 4 years. He's getting a taste of it the last year. Everyone wants to see that here, and so yeah, once you're out personally, yeah, you obviously wish on your friends and province you grew up on.
That's right, and I know Islanders wishing you all the best of success. How's the head? How is everything looking forward? And I mean, you've got a fantastic team in LA this year. Looking at just some of the guys you guys brought in.
Yeah, good, thank you. Yeah, no, healthy. A few superficial injuries this year, but luckily enough that my head was fine and just trying to enjoy life. Kind of, I think. Not the minds and the magnitude of Manny's there, but when you go through some injuries, you start to appreciate what we do a little bit more and how lucky we are to be doing what we're doing. And so I think the biggest thing for me this year was just enjoying what I'm doing and really not taking it for granted and kind of seizing all the moments. And yeah, it's been fun. And we got a good team. We're a young team. We're building. We're trying to get to where Vancouver's are, the Bostons are. We're trying to get to that level, and we're slowly going to try to evolve. And you can be a good team on paper, but you got to come together in many areas, as these guys know, making their long run. And we hope to kind of maybe follow in their footsteps and kind of challenge these guys a little bit this year.
That will be fun to watch you. And Manny, I guess just really quickly, how's everything? I mean, it was such like I mentioned before, such an emotional return for you last year. And how's everything going with that? Is it good? Are you progressing? I mean, did you come back too early? What's everything?
No, everything's going really well right now. Again, it's one of those long process injuries. I can't sit in a room and ice and stim it and try to speed it up along that way. It's one of those things that from day one the doctor said you have to be very patient with it. So everything is as good as it could be at this point. We're progressing at the right pace, and I can't say enough about the Canucks organization making sure that every step along the way I've received the best possible care and seen the best possible doctors, and it's paid off and things are where they should be.
Will we see Manny in a visor next year for the full season?
Yeah. I've you realize how quick the game is, and the risk doesn't outweigh the reward in this situation. So it personally, obviously, just makes a lot of sense to put it on.
Fantastic. Well, the visor's good. Just don't bring one of the sticks that Willie uses, because that's a little too big for you. But who's on the golf course? Who's a better player? That's the final question, because I know you guys can battle on. You're both fantastic hockey players, but
I'll give it to him right away, real quick and real easy.
Push it right back over there.
I'll give it to Manny right away.
Because we're going to run the bottom line here. We're going to have the scoreboard at the bottom. So whoever wins.
I did golf 9 holes at 7 Hills up in the north end of the island before I came up here, just to swing a golf club once. And so.
Okay. Yeah, I think you probably have that.
So I'll take that then.
Fantastic.
Not by much, but I'll take it.
All right. Well, Manny, very appreciative. Thank you very much for coming. Willie, always great to see you back on the island. And that does it. That's another edition of Game On every Monday night, 7 o'clock, 10:30. Join us here on Check. It's Game On.